Hey Taylor, I'm going to try to explain a little bit of what they didn't exactly explain earlier. So they've already seen how to label the pi over 6, pi over 3, pi over 4 stuff, and you keep going around in the other videos. One thing that they didn't explain was how to get these coordinates here. So in order to get the coordinates, you know that, so what you do is you can make a triangle like they did in Khan Academy. Make a right triangle, right? And you know that this is the x value, this is the, or the, this is the y value, this is the x value, and this is 1. I'm going to start with this pi over 6. So, because you know that you're trying to be able to get this value. Like you said in Khan Academy, the sine of theta equals y, cosine of theta equals x, tangent of theta equals y over x. This is something that you need to kind of pay attention to in the Khan Academy video. So, well, you get that from here. So, like, here's theta, y over 1. Sine is opposite hypotenuse, y over 1, so that's y. So you can figure that out. Now let's say we want to get this exact y and x value, right? So for this pi over 6, we know that the sine of pi over 6, or 30 degrees, whatever you want to say, equals y over 1. And you know, in a 30, 60, 90 degrees triangle, let's see, we got this triangle right here, and I hope, if you haven't learned about this, you need to learn about it pretty soon. You should know that, like, the ratio between the sides is 1 to square root of 3. Or you can put any type of multiplier in front of it. So, like, a1, or like 1a, because you can multiply all the sides because they're all similar. So 1 times any number, 2 times the same number, or square root of 3 times the same number. Well, if you look at this to this, we have this 1 right here, but this is a 2. So that means our a value will actually be 1/2. Well, that means if a is 1/2, that means that this value is going to be 1/2. This value is going to be square root of 3 over 2. So that means that this guy is going to equal 1/2, and this guy is going to equal square root of 3 over 2. That what I just did is the fundamentals of what this is. And so once you have this, these are actually legitimate coordinates. So here's our x value, here's our y value. That's where you get square root of 3 over 2, and that's where you get 1/2. Same thing for the pi over 4, which is 45 degrees. So we're going to have a 45, 90 degree triangle. 45, and this is the same. And you know that the ratio of the sides is 1a, 1a, square root of 2a. Well, as you can see, if we're going to have this triangle here, we have our y2 value, x2 value, this is still 1. Well, our 1, this is like a weird scaling factor. So in order to get to 1, our a value must be equal to 1 over square root of 2, because when you multiply square root of 2 times 1 over square root of 2, you get 1, which is this value. So that means that this value on the right side for this triangle must be, so that means our y2, let's go up here, our x2 and our y2 has to be 1 times our a value, 1 over square root of 2, and 1 over square root of 2 can be rationalized if you multiply it by square root of 2 over square root of 2, rationalized to square root of 2 over 2. So that means our y value is square root of 2 over 2. Go back to here, our x value is also square root of 2 over 2. So, moving on to this triangle, the pi over 3 triangle, x3, y3, you've got 3 different angles here. So this is also a 36-degree triangle. However, it's just flipped. Now we are looking at this angle, which is pi over 3. So I'm actually going to redraw it just so that it's easier to see. Hang on a second. Let's see here. There we go. We've got 60 degrees here. And you know, across from the 30 degree is 1a. Across from 60 degree, or you have 2a here. Square root of 3a. It's the same thing. Here's our 1a, or here's our square root of 3a, 1a, 2a. Well, 2a is still 1. And so it's going to be the same exact values because it's the same triangle, it's just flipped a little bit. So square root of 3, so our x value, our y value is going to be the square root of 3 over 2. Our x value is going to be 1/2. So basically, as you can see, the x and the y are flipped between the pi over 3 and the pi over 6. And so basically when you go to the different quadrants, you know that this is 0 and 1, right? Like as far as coordinates on the actual graph. This is... No, I'm crazy. I'm literally crazy. I'm so sorry. You know that this is 1 and 0, and this is 0 and 1. This, I'm just labeling the points, these quadrantal points. You're just going 1 unit away from the center of the circle. So when you rotate around, you would go like this. You go counterclockwise. And so in this, this coordinate, all of the values, the coordinates, are going to be positive and positive. In this coordinate, all the values, every x value is going to be negative, every y value is going to be positive. As you can see, all of them are on the left of the axis, all of them above the axis. For this one, it's all going to be negative, negative. This one's going to be positive, negative. This affects these values. So let's say we have a pi over 3 angle here. This is going to, or a pi over 6 angle. This is going to be 30 degrees. 30 degrees from this axis. Well, this is actually 5 pi over 6. Because if you look at this, we're at pi, which is 6 pi over 6, and you're subtracting 1 pi over 6, so that you get 5 pi over 6. So, we're going to be looking at the same exact triangle. This is our y, this is our x. And we know that the y value is still 1/2. The x value is still the same length, so it's still square root of 3 over 2, but because it's negative on this side of the quadrant, or the axis, it's negative square root of 3 over 2. And so you can do the same mentality with all of the other angles. I think that's everything. Have fun learning Trig, Tay.